Hey magical friends, it is the Sorting Sorceress, and I'm here to talk about more magical goodness today. There's going to be story time. We're actually going to go there and back, there and back, and there and back again. So stay tuned and we'll be coming at you with some more. Not her. Hey everybody. So, as I mentioned, there and back, there and back, and there and back again, is because I would like to tell you the tale of acquiring my cards for Magic the Gathering's Tales of Middle-earth Lord of the Rings cards. So, I'm a big believer in supporting your favorite local game stores, right? However, I did get caught up in the hype, like everybody kind of did, and we're newer to the area, so I didn't really have an established track record with a favorite local game store yet. So I pre-ordered all kinds of stuff online, right? Through Amazon, which obviously went through other distributors to start with. And so out of the gates, prior to the set dropping, and I'm talking probably a little more than a month before the set dropped, I placed my orders for all the pre-order stuff. So I pre-ordered 2 set booster boxes and a package that had all 4 of the commander decks in it. And let's be transparent about pricing things at this point. So when I pre-ordered the set boosters, it was prior to the One Ring being found, and I pre-ordered the boxes for $220 a piece, which is absolutely crazy. And yes, I agree. But this is what happens when we have this new novel thing going on, right? So 2 boxes pre-ordered at $220 a piece. I also ordered that set of all 4 of the commander decks, right? And now that, I have to say, was $200. And yes, that sounds like a lot of money, but honestly, at $50 a piece for the 4 commander decks, that's actually a really good price. And I'm going to do another video and we're going to talk about the decks and what that looks like, and show you that if you can actually get a hold of one of those at the $200 price, you are money ahead. But we'll talk about that more later. So I'm all excited. I got all my stuff pre-ordered, and we're getting down to the wire we're about a week out from when things are going to roll out. And I get the first message from Amazon saying that the set booster boxes were delayed, and they would get a hold of me and let me know when things could be shipped. And I thought, okay, I was kind of prepared for that. Not a big deal. And I thought, they said, do you still want to keep your order or do you want to cancel it at this time? I said, I'll keep my order. And so I kind of go into waiting mode. Then I get a message saying that my commander decks were actually arriving ahead of schedule. And I was pretty excited about that. So it was like a 2-day difference, not like tremendously crazy or anything, but it was going to get them a little quicker than I thought. So I was pretty pumped about that, really excited. And we actually had family at the house. My grandson was with us. The kids were over. So we were all just hanging out, having a great time. And I see my message that my stuff's going to get delivered that day, my commander decks, right? So a box shows up at the front door. I go out to get the box, and I'm looking at this box. And just by looking at the size of the box, I knew it did not have everything in it. And I didn't open it initially because we had guests at the house, whatever. I was trying to be good. I was trying to contain my excitement, but it was like Christmas, knowing that box was sitting there staring at me, waiting for me to get at it. And I finally couldn't stand it anymore. We had kind of a minute. The kids were doing something else. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take a look at this box. I open it up. There's 1 commander deck in it. And like I said, I knew looking at that box that it wasn't right. And I thought, okay, deep breath, log into Amazon, I'm gonna look, and I'm like, maybe they shipped separately. It didn't say that they were, but stranger things have happened. So my fears were real when I logged into Amazon, because it showed that it was all shipped together, and it showed that what I got arrived as a complete order, which meant I spent $200 for 4 commander decks and I received 1. I was not a happy camper. It was probably not a great moment for Dawn. I had a little bit of a temper tantrum. And of course, as I was doing this was on a Sunday and it was in the evening, so there was nobody available on like Amazon chat to try to troubleshoot it. So I thought, okay, I will deal with this tomorrow. So next day comes in and I get a hold of somebody on Amazon chat and I explain what went on. They were super nice. For the record, I have to say props to Amazon on this because they really tried to make it right and quickly. And not only were they not making me send that one commander deck back, they just reordered my order for me and were going to ship me 4 decks. So in theory, I would be a deck ahead on Amazon, right? But again, I had to wait and they said, they didn't have it right that moment, but they were expecting more. And so they said, we're looking at about a week out from when I would get them. Thought, okay, you know what? I appreciate the effort. I'm not out anything at this point. That's fine. I'll take that. Okay, so that was problem number 1. So then we're getting out to about the week mark from when I got that initial message saying my booster boxes were delayed, and I'm still not getting any information from them. And right about at the week mark, I get another message from them saying they're still not available. Do you want to continue to hold on this order? What do you want to do? So at that point, we had actually gone out for dinner, which was right by one of our local favorite local game stores. Really cute store called Natural 20. And shout out to them. I went in there on a whim just to see maybe if they had any. And they did not. Not exactly a surprise. He said we're gone like as soon as he got them in. I figured as much. So I thought, okay, I'll continue on my Amazon order for now. We'll hold. We'll see how it goes. And I then got another message from Amazon saying delayed. And I was like, seriously? And so I'm poking around online and I look at Miniatures Market. Anybody that hasn't found Miniatures Market yet, you should take a look. It's very dangerous. I apologize to you now for the money that you will drop in there, but you can usually find some really cool stuff. And I must have looked exactly at the right time because they had set booster boxes. Not many, but they had some. And the price was less than what I had pre-ordered them for on Amazon. So I quickly ordered 2, went into Amazon, canceled my 2 that I had, them hanging off in La La Land on. And I was pretty excited. Next day, I get a message from Miniatures Market saying they shipped. So I was like, yes, finally, something is going in my favor with all of this. So 2 days pass and my order shows up and I'm super excited. Wait, I'm getting my stories confused. Different issue. So I get a message from them saying your order has arrived and is delivered on your front porch. So I go running out to my front porch and I open the door and there's nothing on my front porch. And I'm like, what the heck? What? The ring is conspiring against me at this point. Like I firmly am starting to believe it. So I log into my Miniatures Market account. And now granted, we've been buying stuff from Miniatures Market on and off for years. And we have moved a few times in there. But man, I'm telling you, I placed that order and I made damn sure that it was the correct address now for where the cards went. And it showed that my order was delivered to a different address in another state. And the first thing I did, I had a fit. I'm not gonna lie. Again, temper tantrum number 2, not great. But I tried not to panic and I messaged 3 people in the area from where we used to live to see if by chance anyone was nearby, if they could go by, see if the box was there, try to talk to the people so it doesn't look like we're stealing something off somebody's front porch. And no one that I reached out to was around at the time. So totally whiffed on that one. So I called Miniature Market. And at first, I logged into my account and I went and I found my email confirmation from them explaining that, explaining my order and that everything was confirmed. And it validated that my address that I had in there was this address. It was the correct address. So whatever happened was a goof up on their end. Doesn't help me get my cards though, right? So I talked to the nicest person from Miniatures Market. So shout out number 2 goes to Miniatures Market because their customer service was fabulous. He looked and he went, yep, I feel terrible. He's like, this is totally a goof on our end. It was probably a one-click error when they were doing the shipping arrangements. And he said the really rotten thing is, he goes, ordinarily I would just replace this order, ship it right out to you right now. We don't have any more. Of course they don't. Why would they, right? Because it's, you know, Lord of the Rings and they flew off the shelves as quick as they had them. So to make it right, he refunded my full amount, and they actually credited some Miniatures Market reward points to my account, which I thought was super nice. So again, slightly money ahead. Cardless, but slightly money ahead. So at this point, I'm really stewing. So now I go, okay, on a whim, favorite local game store number 2. And this one I mentioned in one of our previous videos is Frontline Games. And they are a larger store on the other side of town from us. So not exactly as convenient as the other location, but you know, still local. And I log onto their website and I look, and they actually had some boxes. So I hopped in my car, drove on over there, and I bought myself the boxes. And those were the 2 boxes that we showed you guys, talked about in my previous video. So I literally had how many attempts at ordering cards? Like multiple there, right? And meanwhile, my commander decks have still not shown up. So I get through recording all those videos for you guys, and I'm still waiting, hoping beyond hope that my order is going to show up. And I got the obligatory, we're very sorry, we're unable to obtain this item for you, and they canceled my commander deck order. So again, no good deed goes unpunished, right? So I thought I was going to be a deck ahead, which that's what you get for, I guess, being greedy. That's what the ring does, right? But so now at that point, I had the House of Mordor deck, but not the other 3. And so again, on a whim, I logged on to Frontline Games and looked to see if they had the decks, and they did. And then we got in the car, we went over to our favorite local game store, and I purchased the other 3 commander decks. Now, ultimately, commander deck prices, because I ended up paying for 3 decks that I had to purchase separately, they were more expensive than the $200 that I would have paid if I could have gotten my hands on that set. But obviously, Wizards, I don't know if they underestimated or if this is just normal shipping and processing problems for everybody these days, but supply and demand, like no one has been able to keep up. Like the struggle's been real. But in any order, finally, there and back, and there and back again, I got the cards that I wanted and that I was waiting for. So thus concludes story time for that. But what I did leave out was that when we went back to the game store to get the other 3 commander decks that I hadn't gotten yet, I maybe kind of sort of bought one more box of set boosters. I couldn't help it, guys. Okay, I'm still missing a handful of the big name cards, and I just thought, okay, one more, right? And to be fair, the one more came out of the fact that I started building decks for us to play with here at home, and you get into where there are some staple cards that you want to use in multiple decks. And when you only have like one copy of something, now it's like picking your favorite kid. Okay, who gets custody of this card? Which deck gets to run this one? Because it's going to be stronger than the other one. So fair is fair, right? So one more box of cards for me. So I thought with all that, it would be great to show you now that some time has passed. It's been 2 weeks probably since I had the original 2 boxes, and now we have one more box, and I thought we could talk about some prices and what things looked like. So most importantly, price difference on the box alone. Not much different than what I paid for them previously. When I bought them before, they were right around the 180 mark, I think. It was like 179 something. So this box I was able to pick up $10 less, $169.99. Okay, so a little bit of a difference there. However, card prices really have stayed relatively the same. So in terms of value that you get out of your box, not bad at all. So I am going to bring up my close cam for you, and I hope you'll enjoy this. I'm not going to take full credit for this, to be fair. This is actually Bill's play map, but it is pretty sweet and it's very appropriate, so I thought we would go. So most importantly, they were still running the buy a box promo. So I got another copy of Lorien Brooch. So that's really cool. So now we've got 3 of those for us to be able to have. But what I thought was really cool, let's do stats for a brief moment here. In this box, I pulled 5 mythics, plus the box topper, which we'll talk about that in a minute. The box topper was also a mythic. I guess to be fair, let's go ahead and show you that one real quick. So box topper from box number 3 for us here is Barrow Down. And Barrow Down actually ends up being an alternate version of Bojuka Bog. So for anybody that's familiar with it, but it is a fancy land, has extra ability on it, and you can see it is the foil treatment, and it is a mythic, so that is pretty sweet, and you can't argue that these cards look amazing. So back to regular stats. Like I said, I pulled 5 mythics plus that mythic box topper. So now remember, 5 mythics is the least amount that I got out of the boxes that I had from before. But value-wise, I'm kind of sat at a very interesting range. There were a total of 49 rares and mythics that came out of the box. So I thought I'd give you some alternate stats here. Out of those, just 49 rares and mythics, total value was at $158.42. So I paid $169.99 for the box of cards, and I got $158.42 out of value, $2 and more out of just those cards. Now remember that we then have the pile of other cards that comes in the box. So I thought all in all, that was really not bad at all. Now I will show you what the top 5 dollar amounts were that we pulled out of the box, and there is some pretty cool stuff. So it's a Nazgul, and it's a foil Nazgul, so check that out. He is shiny and very cool in all his Death Touch glory, and this foil guy is $25.14 in value, so he was highest dollar amount number 1. Next we have our buddy Sauron, and Sauron the Dark Lord, and he came in at a value of $18.94. Oh, you know what? And I just realized I missed. We got to bring back in our box topper. Box topper actually got the number 2 spot in value because that box topper came in at $21.66. So not too shabby. So then that puts Sauron in the number 3 spot, and he is $18.94. And then check this out. The number 4 and number 5 spots both go to Nazguls. Different art, and I thought this was pretty cool because each one of these out of the 3 that we got in this box are different card art, which is pretty sweet. So we've got $13.56 and $12.99 for our prices on that. So I thought, all things considered, value-wise, I did really well in this box, right? Yeah, dollar amount came in under what you paid for the price of the box in total, but for the things that we got out of it, I thought it was pretty fantastic. So now, for fun, I thought it would be cool to talk about what about all of the other stuff that comes in the box, right? We're not going to show off everything that comes in there because, like I said, they've been seen. But I thought this would be interesting. So something we hadn't talked about before, I use TCG scanning app, and that gives us like really, really good real-time prices for what the cards are going for on the market. And so that is where I'm getting the dollar amounts that I'm talking about in here. But you can also catalog and all kinds of things with it, but that is the price source that I'm using for these cards. But I took all the rest of the cards in the box. That's another 255 cards, not counting the straight up basic lands that are in there. It wasn't that many, but those really carry no particular value at all. So all of the rest of the 255 cards, and I scanned all 255 cards for you guys, for my magical friends, came in at a whopping value of $25.54. So the cool thing is when you add that $25.54 to the 158.42 that I got out of just the rares and mythics in the box, we are at 183.96, which is more money than we paid for the box. So we are still ahead. No one is ever going to sell off all of those 255 other cards. But again, that is how you build your Magic the Gathering collection, and you're able to build multiple decks for you to play and have a great time with. So thought that was cool. Thanks for sharing in story time with me. I appreciate you guys watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to our SITREP podcast, Other Realms channel, and stay tuned for more magical goodness. And in my sorting craziness, we'll talk all about sorting in another episode. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Not you, not her.